My next question is, your wife is also a member of the House of Representatives.
That is correct po.
And she is Representative Maria.
Your Honor, with all due respect.
This is cross, Your Honor. Maybe given leeway, Your Honor.
Allow the counsel to finish the question, and then you may make your objection afterwards. Finish your question, counsel, for the respondent.
She is Representative Maria Rene Ann Lourdes G. Matibag. correct?
Before
I
the witness
object, Your Honor.
answers, what is the objection of the lead prosecutor?
The questions, Your Honor, of the defense with regards to the wife of the witness is totally irrelevant.
Your Honor.
And that should not be allowed.
Your Honor, these are
the,
credibility testing questions, Your Honor, which is always relevant.
The objection is overruled. It tests the freedom from bias, if any, of the witness regarding his testimony, and the chair will
Nevertheless, Your
allow it.
Honor.
Witness may answer.
Your Honor, may I just enter
there
a
was already-
continuing objection on the line of questions pertaining to the wife of the witness, Your Honor.
So noted. Witness may answer.
Opo.
All right. Now, let me direct your attention to House Resolution number 989. This is also part of the records of this case, entitled Setting Forth the Articles of Impeachment Against Vice President Sara Z. Duterte. Permission to use a pointer, Your Honor. Now, it appears that from this document
Counsel may do so.
that your wife is one of the endorsers of this House resolution. Can you confirm that?
Yes, the name is her.
It's there. Okay. Now, there's a signature page also. The pages, this document is not numbered, but it appears that it's around page 19. Can you confirm if this is your wife's signature?
I think I have no authority to confirm the signature even if she is my wife.
So you can confirm the signature of your NBI agent, but not your wife?
It's appeared to be her signature, but I have not confronted with document so that I can compare it.
At any rate, Your Honor, may we allow?
With the NBI, it's different. I testified earlier that it was presented to me, and I asked him if he signed it, and I'm familiar to his signature because he's always making submission to my office.
All right. That's okay. At any rate, Your Honor, may we allow may we request, Your Honor, that we be allowed to submark this particular portion. Again, this is already
may we
part
request,
of the
Your
records.
Honor, that the witness be confronted first with the document, and
We
may
will
we
do that,
request
Your
as well that the assisting counsel for the prosecution be allowed to approach.
We will do
Assisting
that, Your
counsel
Honor.
for the respondent may please confront the witness with a document in the presence of assisting counsel for the prosecutor before counsel for respondent requests it to be marked. Witness will kindly look at the document and answer their question.
May I first manifest, Your Honor, that the photocopy, the document being presented to the witness is a photocopy.
Your Honor, if at all we can agree that the court's copy be submarked, Your Honor. And we request, Your Honor, that the first page that we showed and this signature page around page 16 be submarked, even at later, Your Honor, before the clerk.
It shall be done at a later time. In the meantime, by the oath of respective counsels, I believe we can rely on this copy, subject to confirmation in the marking of the actual copy that the court has.
And
Of the you're referring to the impeachment resolution on impeachment, right?
yes, Your Honor, but Your Honor, insofar as the identification of this witness, we are relying actually on the transmittal by the Committee on Justice, which was received by our office on May 11, 2026, Your Honor.
Not
So
by
it is-
my office, but by the Secretary General of the Senate. Kindly confront the witness with the document so that he may answer intelligently.
If you know only, Director
Your
Matibag.
Honor,
That
respectfully,
is the
if I may say something, if the court
Yes,
will allow me.
Director Matibag.
In order to save time and the questioning of the defense counsel, I think he's going to the position if my wife endorses the article of impeachment so that we save time and it's on record. It's a matter of public notice. Yes, my wife is one of the endorsers of the impeachment.
Duly noted. Counsel, move on.
All right, thank you for that admission, Director Matibag. And despite that spousal relationship that you admitted, you decided to appear and testify today, correct?
My decision to to be a witness is by virtue of a subpoena issued by the Honorable Court and by invitation of the Committee on Justice, the prosecution. However, the job of my wife as a legislator is totally detached from me being the director of the National Bureau of Investigation.
Okay, my next question is, but the court did not issue a subpoena for you to appear today.
Actually,
Are you saying that you receive a subpoena despite this honorable court not issuing a subpoena for you?
even if there's no subpoena in the pre-trial order, I was mentioned to be a witness, and I was invited by the prosecution to be a witness. And from my understanding, in the pre-trial order, I was also listed by the defense. I will be gladly witness for the defense as well if I will be called upon.
All right, but which is which? Are you appearing today by virtue of a subpoena or without a subpoena?
I'm appearing today as a witness as called upon and announced by the Honorable Court and by the invitation also of the
No, that's
prosecution.
not my question, Director Matibag. You're a lawyer, you know this. Are you appearing today by virtue of a subpoena or no subpoena?
There's no written subpoena, but there is a verbal announcement from the Honorable Court that I will be a witness in today's hearing.
Your Honor, the question of the defense is
What?
misleading. It is apparent that last week a subpoena was issued to the witness, Your Honor, and it is because of the other matters that was heard and addressed by the impeachment court. The schedule of the witness was scheduled to today.
Your Honor,
The objection is overruled. First, asked and answered, and for the record and information of the senator judges, the presiding officer confirms that no subpoena was issued to Director Matibag. In fact, I asked if one was needed, and the response I got was that it was not necessary. But indeed, the chair also confirms that the name of Director Matibag was requested to be invited by the counsel by the prosecutors, and he was so named by the presiding officer to attend in, I believe, yesterday, supposedly, and today's trial dates. Move on, counsel.
just one last question on this point. So
Counsel.
considering that there's no subpoena, I'm just wondering how it works. Did you coordinate with any of the prosecutors in relation to your appearance in today's proceedings?
Well, we conducted some meetings on this matter.
You mean prior to your appearance to this honorable court, you met with members of the prosecution?
Yes, twice when I was informed that I will be a witness on the pre-trial order.
All right. Did you meet with the private prosecutors or the public prosecutors?
With the chairman of the committee, with the Congresswoman Gerbiller.
And you are confirming in open court that you discussed or you were briefed in that meeting based in your testimony? What was the what? Okay, you can explain.
Well, I'm a lawyer and I know where you're going. There was no discussion or coaching. We just discussed matters that's supposed to be covered by my testimony. Because I'm a director, I will be testifying. Of course, they will want to know what will be the nature of my testimony. In the same way that when you want to present me as your witness, I will be more than willing to sit down with the defense counsel.
Your Honor, I take exception to that. I don't think Director Matibag knows where I'm going. In fact, I'm moving on to a new point. At any rate, Your Honor, I don't think we are calling him as a witness. So these are facts that only he assumes.
No,
And
but
I want
it
to
was-
state that for the record, Your Honor.
I speak?
Witness will not argue with the counsel. Kindly
sorry,
move
Your
on.
Honor.
Kindly move on,
Yes, sir.
counsel, for the respondent.
All right. Let's just move on, Director Matibag. The NBI is under the DOJ, correct?
That is correct.
All right. And the DOJ is under the Office of the President, correct?
That is correct.
Now, BBM, in short, BBM has control and supervision over both NBI and the... Your Honor, sorry, I'm hearing comments from the prosecution. I don't mean any disrespect to the President. It's just for purposes of abbreviation, I'm just calling him BBM. But at any rate, I'll move on to my question. So BBM has control and supervision over both the NBI and the DOJ, correct?
That is not exactly correct. only on the matter of appointments, but we enjoyed independence in the matter of investigation.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Do you confirm that you're an appointee of BBM?
Well, it's only the president who can make an appointment. I think it is provided for in the law.
What's the answer?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And so my question to you is this. Did BBM participate in the NBI's investigation in any way?
No.
No. All right. So don't you consider your appointment as NBI director as participation on the part of BBM?
No.
No. Okay. All right. You mentioned a while ago that after the affidavit of investigation, it was submitted to the DOJ for evaluation, correct?
For the evaluation and finding if there's enough reason to file a case before the regional trial court or the proper courts.
All right. And during your direct testimony, you also mentioned that as we speak, it is still pending, correct?
That is correct.
All right. Now, in other words, in terms of formal charge to be filed in court, that is still not available at this time, correct?
It's in the jurisdiction of the National Prosecution Service, which is under the Department of Justice.
But insofar as the case that the NBI filed with the DOJ, is it not the case that that charge does not include contracting for the assassination?
That is correct. What was filed was grave threat and inciting to sedition.
So in other words, at this point, VP Sara is not being made to answer for contracting for assassination, correct?
That is exactly what that my testimony covered. That she is being investigated for contracting a person to kill the president. And that is a continuing threat not only to the life of the president, but to the national security of our country.
Not responsive, Your Honor. My question is if she's already being made to answer to that particular charge.
Made to answer, counsel, meaning
Subpoenaed.
has she been subpoenaed?
I'll be more specific. Has she been subpoenaed in terms of contracting for assassination?
Well, in this impeachment court, she is being on trial. And that is very well covered by the articles. To me, as a lawyer, not only as an NBI director and as a former dean, that is a betrayal of public trust to me because she made an oath of office that she will protect, defend the Constitution, execute laws, do justice to others.
Director
and consequently
Matibag, let
to
the
self.
court intervene at this juncture. That is not responsive to the question of counsel. Kindly just answer the question. Has the NBI issued a subpoena against the Vice President with respect to the crime of contracting a killer, allegedly?
At this point, Your Honor, not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Please proceed, counsel.
That's enough. So no subpoena as of now. But in other words, has there been any affidavit of investigation relating to contracting for assassination?
My understanding is there was a subpoena issued at that time during the investigation to the Vice President, and the lawyer submitted an affidavit.
No. Again, not responsive, Your Honor. I'm talking about an affidavit of investigation executed by the NBI.
Not
in
yet.
terms of not yet. Okay. So at this point, would you agree with me that the DOJ has not found any basis for contracting for assassination?
Wala pa po sa
Wala
ngayon.
pa. All right. So at this point, as of today, there's simply no evidence to warrant the filing of a formal charge for contracting for assassination, correct?
That's why kung babalikan po natin yung aking testimonya, this is a continuing and an open investigation as to the contracting a killer.
So in other words, the reason why these are not present at this time because your investigation is still ongoing.
It's a case build-up and an open, active investigation.
All right. Very well. Now, you mentioned about grave threats and inciting to sedition. My question to you is, these subject matters fall under the category of felonies, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. Now, in fact, based on the penalties involved as provided by law, these fall under the jurisdiction of the first-level trial courts, correct?
Yes.
All right. Now, moreover, for one to be declared guilty of these felonies, the burden of proof is guilt beyond reasonable doubt, correct?
That is correct.
Now, guilt beyond reasonable doubt, is this a low threshold or a high threshold?
Beyond reasonable doubt, of course, it's a high threshold.
In fact, it is the highest threshold in
That is
criminal law,
correct.
correct? So in other words, para lang for the benefit of the Filipino people watching, so hindi ka pwedeng magsampa ng kaso nang hindi mo kayang patunayan, correct?
Tama po yun. Dahil meron pong Memorandum Circular number 20 ng Department of Justice kung saan sinasabi that when you file cases, there should be a reasonable certainty of conviction.
Thank you for that clarification. So if the threshold is guilt beyond reasonable, if this threshold of guilt beyond reasonable doubt is not reached, then the accused must be acquitted, correct?
Tama po yan.
And insofar as grave threats or inciting to sedition, it is the trial courts that will decide that, correct?
That is correct.
Not the DOJ.
The DOJ will submit the information and the resolution for prosecution. At the end of the day, it will be the court who will say whether it's guilty or not.
All right. Now, in your testimony earlier, you mentioned that there are leads on the alleged person that VP Sara talked to, correct?
Yes.
But let me ask you this. During that press con, did VP Sara mention the word assassin?
Wala po.
All right. Now, the investigation on these leads, are these already final?
Pakiulit po.
The investigation based on these leads that you mentioned, are these already final?
Hindi po.
Hindi pa
Malinaw po sinabi ko that this is a continuing and open investigation po.
All right. So, in other words, you haven't given any opportunity for VP Sara to confront this alleged person, correct?
Hindi pa po.
All right. But will you agree with me that confronting this alleged person is part of due process?
Tama po. Kaya mas maganda nga po kung si VP Sara mismo magsabi dito kung meron siyang kinausap at kung sino kinausap.
But is that part of the SOP also, that you give an opportunity for VP Sara to confront?
Tama po. Pag natukoy na po namin kung sino ang taong kanyang kinausap, that is the time na siya po ay aming kukomprontahin para siya po ay masagot niya kung itong taong talaga ito ang kanyang kinausap para patayin ang Pangulo.
All right. My next question is very simple. So you offered your testimony before this impeachment court, even you performed SOP or giving opportunity to VP Sara to confront?
Malinaw naman po yung sinabi ko. Pag nakita po namin kung sino ang taong kinausap, saka po namin siya kukomprontahin, kasama po ang taong iyon at kasama po ang mga willing na nagbibigay ng human intel para harapin po ang akusasyon na yun.
So considering that you're still pursuing those leads, don't you think that your testimony today is premature?
Hindi po. Sapagkat malinaw naman po sa statement ng ating Vice Presidente na meron siyang kinausap para patayin si Bongbong Marcos, si Lisa Marcos Araneta, si Martin Romualdez, at sinabi pa niya na walang biro to us sa law investigation, applying po namin yung pong methodology na ginagamit ng Secret Service sa Amerika, ay papasok po rito na ito isang malinaw na confession ng isang tao na meron siyang isang plano na pagpatay.
Okay, I'll move on, but I'll ask you, isn't that a trial by publicity which is not sanctioned by our laws?
Hindi po. Sapagkat kaya nga po namin hindi nilalabas yung aming pong mga confidential at secret na investigation. Lamang nga po, tayo'y pinatitistigo rito na kailangan natin pong sabihin kung ano na ang naging takbo ng investigasyon. At malinaw naman po sa aking testimonya na dito sa continuing open investigation, active investigation, na kung saan meron pong mga persons of interest. At pag tinanong po natin ito sa mga nakakaunawa ng law enforcement, ganito po talaga ang practice ng law enforcement.
In fact, you mentioned during your direct testimony that you cannot give further details, correct?
Tama
It's
po.
classified. Okay. So, with all due respect, I'll ask this in Filipino, with all due respect to you, Director Matibag, Kung hindi nyo pa po pala kayang magbigay ng detalye, bakit nyo pa po nilabas na may leads kayo in the first place?
Sapagkat gaya po ng sinabi ko, malinaw naman na yung pagsasalita ng ating Vice Presidente na siya ay kumausap ng papatay at pumayag yung papatay na patayin ang mga individual na ito, meron na pong pagkakasundo na gagawin po ang isang krimen.
Yeah, but my point is, wouldn't that prejudice your ongoing investigation that you come out here and you make statements that you already have leads?
Objection, Your Honor. That is speculative.
Witness may answer.
Kaya nga po ang dahilan na hindi ko mabanggit kung sino po yung mga persons of interest dahil doon po makukompromiso ang investigasyon na gumugulong.
Okay, at any rate, if this ongoing investigation progresses, that is the only time that a different charge will be executed against the Vice President.
Balikan ko po
Speculative,
ulit.
Your Honor.
Babalikan ko po ulit. Para po sa amin, malinaw na ang pagkontrata sa pagpapatay o ng papatay sa mga pangalang binanggit ay nandoon na. Applying the methodology ng Secret Service na binanggit ko po kanina. Ang hindi na lang po natin nakikita ay kung sino ang taong kinausap. Kaya ito po ay still open and continuing investigation.
At any rate, it's not yet final, correct?